you know that you are protecting the animals who raped young children and videotaped it? Yes, that's what they did. And they will do the same to you. Shvaya, shvaya. Shvaya, shvaya.
No, hold on.
Can you shut up, please? Can you shut up? Let me say what I want to say.
Gaza, that Israeli man there who spoke, telling lots of lies, he said there's no other way except what they're doing to get the hostages released.
As a representative of the South African Parliament, I'm reaching out to you with immense urgency and concern regarding the unfolding humanitarian crisis in the Gaza and the ongoing conflict between the Palestine and Israel. It is absolutely imperative that we rally collective support behind this item titled Raising Awareness of the International Court of Justice Provisional Measures in relation to Palestinians in Gaza and of the need for urgent action on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Close quote. Our crucial proposal underscores a series of critical actions that, if backed by our collective effort, can catalyze positive change and relieve the immense suffering of civilians in the region, particularly women and children. Moreover, it is imperative to emphasize the profound importance of the International Court of Justice's judgment and provisional measures that stands for Israel. This judgment stands to provide a legal and diplomatic framework for addressing the conflict and its humanitarian consequences, setting a precedent for the international community in addressing similar situations in the future. I implore you to support our item and join us in advocating for the urgent measures outlined in our proposal. Essentially, these encompass raising awareness, releasing of hostages, providing humanitarian aid, preventing violations of international law, fostering dialogue and negotiations, and actively supporting the two-state solution. By securing your support, we collectively demonstrate our shared commitment to upholding multilateralism, addressing humanitarian crises, upholding international law, fostering peace and ensuring the protection and well-being of individuals affected by the conflict. Your backing of these measures will serve as a resounding testament for our unified dedication to promoting peace and security in the region. This proposal was supported by the African group, by the Arab group, by Malaysia, as well as Indonesia. This proposal from South Africa, and I earnestly request your careful consideration and support for this crucial initiative, as your collaboration in this endeavor will be instrumental in effective positive change in a region that is in urgent need of our collective action. I thank you.
I listened to the representative from South Africa supporting the Hamas terrorists, calling them political detainees. Do you know that you are protecting the savages who attacked us on October 7th, who kidnapped innocent children, killed their parents in front of them? Do you know that you are protecting the animals who raped young children and videotaped it? Yes, that's what they did. And they will do the same to you. Yes. Do you know that you represent the Hamas terrorist organization? If you want to represent the Hamas terrorist organization, you support South Africa today. How would you vote today about supporting South Africa protecting so-called political detainees?
Sorry, Honorable Danny. There is a hold on.
We are willing.
Hold on. Hold on, Danon. Hold on. Let's have order. I have seen you, Belgium, but we have a point of order requested by Palestine. Yes. Palestine? Who is this?
Palestine. شكرا سيدة الرئيسة.
Just wait. Hold on. You have the floor.
They will come to you.
شكرا سيدة الرئيسة.
شوية.
كنت أتوقع.
No, hold on.
Can you shut up, please? Can you shut up? Let me say what I want to say.
Somebody is speaking. I'm also protecting you. Please.
هذا معيب. معيب أن تقبلوا هذه اللغة. عار عليكم. كيف تقبلوا لهذا الإرهابي أن يتحجج بهذه يجب عليك وقفه وأن يحترم قواعد السلوك. عليه أن يحترم قواعد السلوك أولا.
Palestine, hold on please. Hold on please. The language that was used by Israeli, you're also echoing the same on the first part of your statement. I think, dear colleagues, let's hear him, let him finish, and then we keep moving.
هو الذي استخدم سيد الرئيس كان عليك أن توقفيه. هو الذي بدأ بذلك الكلام الغير إنساني والغير أخلاقي.
You're also doing the same like what he has done. That cannot be a point of order. But you can be given a right of reply if you need to. But in terms of the rules, you are using the same language which he has used. So you're not giving the president any chance to rule who is actually using a better language in this
He was started by that, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Madam President.
You should block him.
We haven't heard even one condemnation from the Palestinian Authority about October 7th, and we are waiting. This is not the way you should conduct your manners. Madam President, we are willing to stop our military efforts immediately. All it would take is Hamas surrendering and releasing our hostages. That's what we want, releasing our hostages. We have no desire to go into Gaza. We have no desire to fight in Gaza. We haven't started this war. It was brought upon us. We urgently call for the immediate release of our hostages held by the Hamas terrorist group in Gaza. We demand global condemnation of the Hamas terrorist organization and its sponsor, the Islamic Republic of Iran. We expect from you to condemn what happened, to demand non-state actors to take actions in order to release our hostages. We understand that none of us is happy with the scenes that we are watching coming from Gaza. But if one of you in this floor can give me today another way for Israel to release the hostages, I will come and see you, including the Palestinian Authority. Give us another way to bring our boys and girls back home, and we will listen to that. But all we hear is condemnations and demands and resolutions. We respect you all, but you have to understand that we have to respect our people. And that's exactly what is expected from each one of you today, to have moral clarity and not to vote about what South Africa wanted. With the resolution, by the way, they submitted today. They went to the International Court and they failed, but they brought the same arguments to the IPU. Failed, yes, failed.
I want to answer that man. He said there's no other solution in what they're doing in Gaza. That Israeli man there who spoke, telling lots of lies. He said there's no other way except what they're doing to get the hostages released. And he said if anybody has a solution other than what they're doing, we have solutions. In Ireland, we had similar problems in the north. So if he wants to talk to us, we will help him. Because what they're doing now has not released the hostages. It has not led to any resolution. It has led to thousands of Palestinian children dying. Thousands have died in what they're doing. Killing more people has resolved nothing. We have learned. We had 800 years of British invasion in Ireland, and we still managed to find a solution, but it was from putting down our guns, not from picking up more guns, which is what the Israelis keep doing now. Not the Israeli people, I do not blame them. They have a right to get their hostages back, and the Israeli families have been failed by the Israeli government because they keep killing Palestinians and they're not getting their hostages back. It is not working. Israel has failed, and they must put down their arms before they make any demands. We need a full ceasefire now. Nothing else will work. so he can come and talk to Ireland. We'll tell him how it's done.
Those against? Abstention. The draft resolution has been adopted as Resolution 2728, 2024.
We meet during the holy month of Ramadan. This should be a season of peace for Muslim communities around the world. Just as October 7th, Simchat Torah, should have been a day of peace for Jewish communities. This resolution rightly acknowledges that during the month of Ramadan, we must recommit to peace.
Security Council resolutions are binding, and if Israel is not going to implement it, then it is the duty of the Security Council to use Chapter 7 to take measures and punitive measures in order to make them obey the resolution of the Security Council.
Will those in favor of the draft resolution contained in document S/2024/254 please raise their hand? Those against? Abstention. The result of the voting is as follows: 14 votes in favor, 0 vote against, 1 abstention. The draft resolution has been adopted as Resolution 2728.
When such atrocities are being committed in broad daylight against defenseless civilians, including women and children, the right thing to do, the only thing to do morally, legally, politically, is to put an end to it. There can be no justification for war crimes, crimes against humanity and genocide. Accepting any justification for such crimes is renouncing our humanity and destroying the rule of international law beyond repair. One that enforces consequences for these crimes. This must be a turning point. This must lead to saving lives on the ground. This must signal the end of this assault of atrocities.
Sadly, it's for the same reason why you can condemn terror attacks in Russia and Iran, but not in Israel. To this council, Israeli blood is cheap. This is a travesty, and I am disgusted.
We are happy that the Council has successfully adopted the much-needed resolution to demand the immediate ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages. It also demands that the parties comply with their obligations under international law in relation to all persons that they detain.
Security Council resolutions are binding, and if Israel is not going to implement it, then it is the duty of the Security Council to use Chapter 7 to take measures and punitive measures in order to make them obey the resolution of the Security Council.
All barriers to aid delivery need to be lifted. We have not yet seen the improvements that we need to get more aid in. The Council's message today is an important one, and I reiterate, we call for it to be implemented immediately.
Colleagues, today this Council spoke out in support of the ongoing diplomatic efforts led by the United States, Qatar, Egypt, to bring about an immediate and sustainable ceasefire, secure the immediate release of all hostages, and help alleviate the tremendous suffering of Palestinian civilians in Gaza who are in dire need of protection and life-saving humanitarian assistance. The United States fully supports these critical objectives. In fact, they were the foundation of the resolution we put forward last week, a resolution that Russia and China vetoed. But colleagues, the United States' support for these objectives is not simply rhetorical. We're working around the clock to make them real, on the ground, through diplomacy, because we know that it is only through diplomacy that we can push this agenda forward. We're getting closer to a deal for an immediate ceasefire with the release of all hostages, but we're not there yet. Now let's be clear. A ceasefire could have come about months ago if Hamas had been willing to release hostages, months ago. Instead, Hamas continues to stand in the way of peace, to throw up roadblocks, cower in tunnels beneath Gaza cities and behind under civilian infrastructure and hide among the civilian population. So today my ask to members of this council and to member states in every region of the world is this: speak out and demand unequivocally that Hamas accepts the deal on the table. Now, I hope I'm wrong, I really do, but I don't expect that from Russia and China, especially because they still can't bring themselves to condemn Hamas's terrorist attacks on October 7th. Just last week, Russia and China vetoed a resolution that condemned this horrific attack, a resolution the vast majority of this council supported. They have shown time and time again that they are not actually interested in advancing a durable peace through diplomatic efforts, nor for all their rhetoric are they interested in making any meaningful contributions to humanitarian efforts. Instead, they are using this devastating conflict as a political cudgel to try to divide this council at a time when we need to come together. It is deeply, deeply cynical, and we should all see through it. Colleagues, we appreciated the willingness of members of this council to take some of our edits and improve on this resolution. Still, certain key edits were ignored, including our request to add a condemnation of Hamas. And we did not agree with everything in the resolution. For that reason, we were unfortunately not able to vote yes. However, as I've said before, we fully support some of the critical objectives in this non-binding resolution, and we believe it was important for the Council to speak out and make clear that our ceasefire any ceasefire must come with the release of all hostages. Indeed, as I've said before, the only path to a durable end to this conflict is the release of all hostages. Critically, a ceasefire and the release of hostages will allow much more humanitarian aid to get into Gaza at a time when famine is looming large, and provide an opportunity to work toward a sustainable cessation of hostilities, toward a future where Hamas can no longer threaten Israel and never repeat October 7th, and no longer control Gaza and use civilians as shields, toward a future where Palestinians and Israelis live side by side in peace in two democratic states of their own. Something that will never happen with Hamas, a terrorist organization dedicated to the destruction of Israel and the killing of Jews, a terrorist organization this body still fails to condemn, controlling Gaza. Colleagues, we meet during the holy month of Ramadan. This should be a season of peace for Muslim communities around the world. Just as October 7th, Simchat Torah, should have been a day of peace for Jewish communities. This resolution rightly acknowledges that during the month of Ramadan, we must recommit to peace. Hamas can do that by accepting the deal on the table. A ceasefire can begin immediately with the release of the first hostage. And so we must put pressure on Hamas to do just that. This is the only path to securing a ceasefire and the release of hostages, as we have all called for today. That is what this resolution means. A ceasefire of any duration must come with the release of hostages. This is the only path. Thank you very much, Mr. President.